Hello and welcome to Parkessent. My name's Jake and today we're back for yet another instalment of the Lost River Ride construction updates. Now before we get into the video, I'd just like to remind you that there will be daily uploads to Parkessent for the entirety of 2024. So please make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and stay tuned for more awesome videos. Now, the first thing I'd like to talk about is something that came to my attention the other day on my visit, which is my previous concerns surrounding Voodoo and the train being open have now been confirmed. Voodoo is going to be open for the whole of the 2024 season, as far as I'm aware. However, the train is not. Whilst it's great to have Voodoo open, I think the train was a really important part of Flamingo Land. I think for the in terms of like a transportation and accessibility point of view, it's quite essential to have something so that less able-bodied people or people that don't want to walk can get around the park easier. I mean, when they removed the Sky Ride a good few years ago now, that was one of the main concerns, was accessibility. So you got to think it is quite a big park. It's quite hilly. It takes quite a while to walk around. But unfortunately we won't have the train this year, but I am grateful for Voodoo being open. Now, the elephant in the room here, and you'll see it on the clips, is that the drop has been lowered. It hasn't moved, which was the previous speculation. We thought it was going to be completely stripped down and then the whole system had been moved. That hasn't happened. What's actually happened is the top section of the top section of the lift hill has been removed, and I'd say it's probably about half the height. It's probably about 30-40 feet up. It's really weird to look at, actually, after obviously the Lost River Ride in its previous state had been like that for many years. But it's a new development. It's quite exciting, and it's also very good to still have it, so I can't complain. Now, the main reason for making this video today has been that the new boats for the attraction have been spotted laying next to the bottom of the lift hill. You'll see them very shortly in the clips, and you'll hopefully be able to see. I know the video quality isn't that good. I was filming for a very long way away up on the hippo deck, but they are darker than the previous boats. I don't know if they're the same boats as before, with a fresh coat of paint, but they are definitely darker, and from my perspective that I got on the viewing deck, they appear to be slightly bigger as well, which is, I don't know why that's come to fruition, but they do appear to be bigger than the previous boats. I don't know what the reasoning for that is, but it's certainly quite interesting. Another thing that's very interesting is the scaffolding that surrounded the midpoint of the ride that was there in the previous updates has now been removed completely. It's unclear at this point what the scaffolding was there for, but it's gone. So the dreams of having a dark ride section there have slightly disintegrated. Although it's still not impossible, it could happen, but unfortunately the chances of that have been lowered. Something else I'd like to talk about is the kiosk at the front of the ride that's been there for many years, that used to serve sweets, drinks. You could get your photo or your poncho there. That has been completely stripped. There's the rear wall and the front wall have both been removed. There's a lot of dangling wires. It's a bit of a mess at the moment. Well, I suppose it has to be on a construction site. But it is quite interesting to see that removed. Will be getting a new kiosk? We don't actually know where the ride entrance is going to be. There's so many things, so many sort of aspects of this construction that are currently unconfirmed, and that is exactly why I'm here to speculate and bring you the latest updates. Again, please make sure to subscribe to the channel if you want some more of these updates. There will be more coming in the near future. Now, another thing that's popped up since the last update is the construction of a large, potentially themed wall. Now, I say potentially themed because it is covered in netting, and I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called steel crosswire, which obviously doesn't mean anything to most people, but it's the stuff they put down before they cover stuff in clay, if that makes sense. They did it for the entrance at the Dinosaur Park area of the park many years ago. So potentially we could be seeing a themed building, which is quite exciting. Themed outer building could mean a dark ride section inside the building. Obviously, it's going to be inside the building. I didn't need to say that, did I? Well, I'm losing my mind. Here we go. Another new thing that's popped up is there's some new footers behind the lion enclosure. Now, this could be the bottom of the drop, or these could be footers for a larger structure. Potentially the top section of the drop could be extended. Or most likely, I think that will be the case. Or potentially the drop could be shortened as well as lowered in height. I'll reiterate that there's so many things that are yet to be confirmed by the park. Obviously, a lot of the things we won't find out until opening day, whenever that might be. Smaller little update for you is that there's some new signage as well. This is fantastic to see, sort of on the paths down to where you'd normally go to Kamali from the zoo, up near the lion enclosure. That sort of path at the bottom is obviously shut off because of this huge construction zone, as well as that round near the Greater Flamingos enclosure that has also been gated off because it's obviously on the forefront of the enclosure, and there's been some themed signage added. So apologies, I can't get my words out today. That, it just makes it look a lot tidier and a lot more intentional, whereas before you were just walking down a path and then suddenly there was loads of construction fences, there was loads of cranes and lorries moving about behind. It was just a bit confusing. Obviously not to me because I know what's going on pretty much occasionally, but if it's like an irregular paying guest, if you don't come too often or you're not that engrossed in the development of the park, or you're not subscribed to Parkessent, then you don't know what's happening. And to have this big ride that's half built just in front of you and to not know anything about it, I think could be quite confusing to a lot of people. That is all I've got to update you on today. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you found this video informative and interesting. If you'd like to leave a comment and tell me, what your thoughts are on the whole development, or if you just want to talk about theme parks, I always respond to comments and I love reading through them. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Jake. You've been watching Parkessent. Thanks very much.